Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. We are watching history repeat itself once again. You know, the skies over New Jersey and frankly, most of the eastern United States are being invaded by massive, advanced drones. They're being flown in coordinated swarms over nuclear power plants, military installations, and even the private property of President-elect Donald Trump. That should tell you something right there. The government claims it doesn't have any authority to take them down, and they also claim they don't know what they are, citing legal restrictions and collateral damage concerns. Give me a break. I mean, let's stop pretending that we don't know the truth. The US government has a long documented history of lying about its activities, no matter how much collateral damage or public distrust it causes. These drones are almost certainly part of a covert domestic operation. Now, let's start with the absurdity, the mind-blowing claim that the government doesn't have the authority to shoot them down. Well, we all remember the Chinese spy balloons of 2023, right? These spy balloons floated across the United States, clearly violating US airspace in a similar way that we are seeing right now. But you know what? The government that time didn't hesitate to act. They shot it down with F-22s, live on TV while the whole country was watching. Yet now, with these advanced drones mysteriously hovering over critical infrastructure in New Jersey and New York and places like that, they don't have the authority now, but they did back then. It's laughable, everybody. The difference is glaring if you actually think about it. The Chinese spy balloons, well, they were foreign government material, and these are likely ours. That's why they don't want to shoot them down. Think about it. So the government has a track record of lying about things like this. And if you don't think they'd lie, well, let's look back at some of the lies that they've actually given us that are verified. Let's take the Trinity test of 1945, for example. When this bomb was exploded as the first nuclear bomb in New Mexico, the nearby town of Ruidoso, New Mexico, saw snow falling, right? So some of the people that lived in the town, they would actually play in the snow. Some of them actually caught it with their tongue, and they were confused, like, why is this snow warm? The people thought it was snow. They played in it, and they were completely unaware of the danger. There's actually statements going back to that time, and people wondered why the snow was hot. They just thought it was hot snow because it was in the summertime. Well, what happened? What did the government do? They issued a fake story. They were claiming that this nuclear explosion that was raining down snow on the town was actually a explosion at an ammunition depot. And this is verifiable. It's in the newspaper. This is a verifiable statement from the government saying that this nuclear explosion was just an ammunition fire. Crazy, right? Countless lives were affected by the fallout. Countless lives were lost. But the government kept it hidden to protect their secret weapons program. And then a few years later, Roswell, 1947, a UFO crashed. And initially, the government had admitted recovering a flying disc. But within hours, they reversed their statement, claiming it was a weather balloon. And there's been countless whistleblowers from the people who were there on their deathbed saying that it was definitely not a weather balloon. We don't have to go down this road any farther, but this is just another example of the government lying about their activities. And let's not forget MK-Ultra, the CIA's mind control experiment that spanned decades, where they would actually give people drugs and hallucinogens and brainwash them and convince them to do terrible things. They had no idea this was even happening. And when it was finally exposed, the government claimed it was all in the name of national security. Where have we heard that before? Now, the pattern is clear. When the government wants to keep something a secret, what do? They lie about it, plain and simple. They fabricate stories, they suppress evidence, and they spin narratives to confuse the public. They don't want people knowing what's going on. And these drones over New Jersey are no different. They claim they lack the authority to act, or these drones might be misidentified civilian craft, or even foreign actors. But you know what, people? These are just smoke screens. Look, people, if these were really foreign threats, they would have been shot down long ago. Because we know we have the authority to shoot things down. We've seen it. Look, these things would have been shot down. There's no question about it. I was in the Air Force, and one thing, after 9/11, I actually saw this with my own eyes. Many Air Force bases across the United States in strategic locations have what they call alert aircraft. On alert at all times. This happened after 9/11. Where I worked at Buckley Air Force Base in Colorado, there was 4 F-16s ready to go, fully fueled up, fully armed, ready to go at all times. And there was pilots in a room down the runway just waiting for their orders. These were called alert aircraft. And the whole mission of the alert aircraft is to counter another 9/11. These airplanes, F-16s, and where I worked, and I'm sure there's F-22s and all that stuff. Within, I think it was 5 minutes. I forgot the exact time, but within a small amount of time, let's just say 5 minutes, the pilots can run outside to where their aircraft are waiting, jump in and take off without any preparation. They don't have to put fuel. They don't have to load weapons. They don't have to do anything because these aircraft are ready to go, right? These are the alert aircraft. Do you honestly think that these things wouldn't get scrambled if it was some sort of national security threat happening? No, they would definitely get scrambled, and they would be shooting down these drones left and right all over the place, and it wouldn't be there wouldn't be a problem with it. It would just happen, right? In my opinion, all this stuff is really strong evidence that these drones are a part of a covert operation, and they just don't want people to know. Why is this happening right now, and why is it so public? Well, we can speculate on that, but using logic and critical thinking, we can come to some conclusions ourselves, and we will at the end of this video.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times.
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their homes.
It's right here over Picatinny. There was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down dead.
These are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it.
What the is that, bro? Did it just get smaller? Bro, what?
Above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you...
I'm concerned. I issued a letter to ask for more information, and I think there should be a lot more transparency about them.
Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that doesn't make any sense.
I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this, and we're taking it seriously.
So we know the government's playbook hasn't changed. They've lied to us about nuclear fallout, about UFOs, and even their own experiments on multiple occasions. So why should we believe them now? These drones are flying over some of the most sensitive sites in the country. And instead of answers, we get silence, excuses, and fake confusion. Strange, isn't it? These drones don't just hover, they disappear. They actually have been seen disappearing by law enforcement. They evade capture, and some reports claim that they defy the laws of physics. In my opinion, these are black budget toys that the military has been playing with, maybe even reverse engineered from the Roswell crash and stuff like that. And the official response from Homeland Security and other official government agencies has been laughable. These events, they just seem to echo classic UFO flaps that we've seen throughout history. It's almost like the government is trying to make people think they're UFOs. They're trying to lead people in a direction. They're trying to stir up hysteria for what? I don't know. What reason? The parallels to historic UFO encounters are striking. Evasive maneuvers, strange effects on electronics, lack of physical evidence, but unlike the past UFO sightings, these drones are targeting highly sensitive areas and highly populated areas so they can't be hidden. Lots of people are seeing these and it's blowing up. It's everywhere. This isn't random, folks. This is calculated. People, the lack of clear answers leaves us with three primary theories, each with its own unsettling implications. Now, let's break them down. Number one, this is a government psyop. It's drawing attention from the masses for some hidden agenda that we don't understand yet. What if this just isn't some secret surveillance program, but a deliberate operation designed to capture the public's attention? And it seems to be doing just that. The government has a long history of using distractions to manipulate the public and take control of the narrative. Think about the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which was manipulated to justify America's entry into the Vietnam War. Or Operation Northwoods, a declassified proposal to stage a false flag attack on American citizens to justify military actions. Now, apply that same framework to these drones, and it seems to be pointing to a controlled operation meant to test the public's reaction or maybe shift its focus. By creating a spectacle in the sky, the government could be diverting attention from something bigger, or drawing attention to this for some specific reason. Maybe some escalating global conflict, maybe some secret technology advances, or maybe even preparations for new laws governing our skies. Who knows? Whatever the goal is, drawing attention to these drones might serve as a kind of a prelude to something bigger that we're not being told about. So the strange behaviors of these drones appearing in swarms, targeting critical infrastructure, and then vanishing without a trace or just taking off. Some reports of them landing in the ocean or going underwater. It might be the whole point of this, right? They create confusion and fear, ensuring that all eyes remain on the sky. But the ultimate question is, why? What's the bigger play here? What's the purpose behind all this? I want to know what you think. Put it in the comments. So the second plausible explanation would be some sort of high strangeness, UFOs, actual UFOs, mixed with real drones that seem to be kind of muddying the waters. It kind of veers into the territory of high strangeness, but it's not as far-fetched as it might sound. What if we're dealing with a mix of human-made drones from the military, black budget things like we talked about before, and actual UFOs? I mean, this theory might make sense if the goal is to muddy the water and create a situation where it's impossible to discern what's real and what's not. You see, history shows us that UFO sightings have often coincided with advancements in human technology, right? For instance, during the Cold War, UFO reports skyrocketed all over the world, not just in America, they're everywhere, often near military installations and nuclear sites, eerily similar to what's happening right now. Now, some of those incidents were undoubtedly tied to experimental aircraft, but others defied explanation, with behavior that, people can say, it's definitely not human, I mean, it's easy to tell what we have and what we don't have based on the behavior of these craft. It creates just enough plausible deniability to dismiss even the most credible reports. This tactic keeps the public guessing, with skeptics and believers alike locked into the endless debate. The result? A populace too distracted and too divided to demand accountability from those who know the truth. Seems plausible to me, I don't know. What do you think about this? And the third, and this is the most unlikely scenario, that these are foreign drones from some other country. I think it's extremely unlikely because we would have shut them down a long time ago. If drones were invading our airspace that were operated by a foreign nation, let's be real, folks. This is the go-to excuse for the government. And this would have been used as a rallying cry for military action, increased funding, all these things that they do and that they have done. But here, we've heard nothing of the sort. No calls for retaliation, no claims of identifying foreign operators, no evidence presented to the public. The silence speaks volumes. If these drones were foreign, well, they wouldn't be allowed to hover over nuclear sites and military bases without a swift response. The lack of action strongly suggests that these drones are not from another country, but instead are part of something far closer to home. As I said before, black budget toys. Well, what's the verdict here, folks? I think it's just a web of government secrecy. It's a government psyop. There might be some real UFOs mixed in there, and if that is the case, it brings a whole nother layer to this situation. But it's unlikely a foreign incursion, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. The common thread here is secrecy, however. The government has chosen to withhold information from the public, leaving people to speculate and theorize about whatever they want. Basically, it's chaos, confusion, and compliance, right? These things aren't being hidden. People all over the country are seeing them. They're going outside. They're seeing them for themselves. It's not just a as seen on TV event, right? So the events in New Jersey are not just about drones. They're about power, control, and those who yield it. They know how to use this power, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep the power. It's up to us to demand the answers and to cut through the noise and hold the people in power accountable. Because if we don't, these drones are just the beginning. Things are about to get crazy. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. Please put your opinions in the comment section. I want to know what you think because this is a pretty unique situation. And in my opinion, it's only leading to something much bigger.